Hey everyone, welcome to Bad Beat Sports Betting Super Wildcard Weekend. 2 days, 6 games, 3 games per day, one on Nickelodeon.
Guys,
Sean
yeah, I keep
Payton's probably
seeing
going
that.
to get slimed. How's it going, Steve?
I'm good. Wait, which one is on Nickelodeon?
It's the Saints and Bears game, but it's on Nickelodeon and then also the regular channel.
I
You can watch
kind of
it on
want to
YouTube.
watch the Nickelodeon version.
Yeah, I might tune in a little bit for that one just to see what it's like. It's probably going to be pretty dumb though. But yeah, we got 6 games, and then also a bonus on Monday, the national championship game. Two quarterbacks are probably going to go in the first round, so we'll talk a little bit about that. Uh, Colts at Bills is the first game. Probably going to be one of the more lopsided games in my opinion. The Bills are 6.5 point favorites, and I think that they're going to blow past that. I could see this being like a 40 to 20 type of game. Rivers is 1-5 in his career when the weather's under 32 degrees. That's my stat for
Yeah,
this one.
that's pretty much what I would say, and I never bet on Rivers in the playoffs. He is. I always say, like, him and Eli Manning, even though they're taking the same draft, they're like the opposite, where, like, Rivers is the guy you really want in the regular season, but Eli Manning's who you want in the postseason. Because
Yeah,
Rivers
absolutely.
has never looked confident in, like, postseason games. The I finally like made that verdict. I think it was maybe the 2018 2017 2018 season, the playoffs. I think he was in Baltimore and he just looked horrendous and he was like yelling at the team and I was just like, this guy sucks in the playoffs.
Yeah,
So,
I think a lot of he has good numbers, but a lot of the time it's coming back because the Chargers get down early, and he has to throw the ball a lot. But yeah, I just don't trust the Colts against the Bills. The Bills are red hot. I don't think they're going to stop until we'll talk about our Super Bowl predictions later, but I don't think they're going to stop very soon. Then we got the Rams at Seahawks, third time they're going to play this year. Split the season series 1-1. Seahawks are actually only a 3 point favorite at home, even with Jared Goff's broken thumb. That means that the books are looking at it as a pick 'em, and it hasn't really moved at all. Which all the money's going to Seattle, but the line actually moved closer to the Rams by half a point. You used to have the hook. I
yeah.
really wanted to pick the Rams in this game. I was thinking about it all day. I just can't get past betting on. I can't not bet on Russell Wilson in the playoffs. He's 7-0 when favored in the playoffs in his career, and Seattle's won 11 straight games going into the playoffs as a favorite team.
This line doesn't really make sense to me. As we said, no Goff. I think the Seahawks, even with Goff, should be favored. If Goff was in, this would be the line. I would pick. This would be a good line if Goff was in for the Rams. I think.
Yeah, if full disclosure, if Goff was healthy, I'm picking the Rams in this game, but I can't do it right now. Ramsey's shut DK down for 2 games. I don't think he'll do it for a third. I think he'll have a pretty good day, and I think the Seahawks will roll into the next round.
Yeah, this is an easy pick for me. Seahawks by 3. I think they'll easily make that.
Mm-hmm. Bucks at Washington football team. 8.5 point favorites on the road. Interesting and interestingly enough, the last 4 teams who have gone into the playoffs 8-8 or worse have won their last 4 games, including Seattle back during Marshawn Lynch's days, and the Panthers when they were 7-8-1. So history says Washington football team has a shot, even though the books are giving them 8.5, uh, giving the Bucks 8.5 points. I'm picking the football team to cover this spread, and I think they'll do it pretty easily. They might even pull out the win. Tom Brady's 4-4 in the playoffs on the road. He hasn't played much on the road, obviously, because they always have the 1 or the 2 seed in New England. He's also thrown more interceptions than touchdowns in road games in his playoff career.
Yeah, I'm taking the football team to cover. I. It's funny. I mainly like, even though in the long run it's probably better that the Giants get the higher draft pick. I wanted them to make the postseason because I could see both the Washington and the Giants, either one, being able to win this game, no matter how much we make fun of the NFC least. Especially Washington, they really have the recipe to knock Brady off his game. We've seen it with the two Super Bowl winning Giants teams and the Super Bowl winning Eagles team. Just pass rush, get pressure right up in Brady. That really throws them off. And I think if they can get to Brady a lot, which that we've look at that Washington line can definitely do that. I'm gonna play it safe and just take the Washington football team to cover the spread, but I would not be that shocked if they won this game.
Yeah, me neither. And it's kind of a dumb stat, but there is something to it. Tom Brady's 0-4 against the spread in primetime games this year. So we'll see if that holds up. This one's a 4 o'clock game, so it counts as primetime. Or actually, no, it's
the
the
prime
8 o'clock
Yeah,
game
that was 8
on
o'clock.
Saturday night. So yeah, definitely prime time. Then we move on to the Sunday slate rematch of last year and this year, Week 11. Ravens going into Tennessee, 3.5 point favorites on the road. They have been pretty. I'll give them. They've been pretty hot. 6 straight wins, going into the playoffs the right way. They're running the ball down people's throats. But I'm going with the Titans. I'm betting against Lamar Jackson in the playoffs until he proves me wrong.
I'm I'm betting like it's 20, like it's early, like it's pre-lockdown 2020 right now, and I'm going Derrick Henry money line right here.
There you go. Yeah, it's gonna. I don't know if I'll ever pick the Ravens over the Titans again, just because the one time I did it last year, it got me hooked when they actually won that game. Bears at Saints, the Nickelodeon game, like we said before. Saints 10-point favorites. I think it was 9 points as late as this afternoon, but it went up to 10 for obvious reasons. The Bears are an 8-8 football team. Got kind of lucky backing into the playoffs with the Cardinals' loss. I think the Saints will cover this pretty easily. I can't see the Bears hanging in there for more than like a quarter or two with this team.
No, I mean, I think look what happened when they played a playoff team last week in the Packers. They got, what was it, 35-16 or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I think it'll look very much like that game. I think it was 14-14 at one point, or 14-10 maybe, and then the Packers just pulled away. I think it'll look the same. Drew Brees' last NFL game will not be played on Nickelodeon. I'll tell you.
I'm gonna say an unpopular opinion, but I think that the Washington football team is not the worst team in the playoffs. I think the Bears are the worst team in the playoffs.
I would agree with that. With Alex Smith at quarterback, the football team is better than the Chicago Bears. And actually, I think their odds to win the Super Bowl are the exact same. So the books kind of agree with us. Then the last game, tons of controversy around this one. Browns at Steelers. Browns beat the Steelers for the first time in forever last week. Steelers B team, so they're going to have to do it again against the A team this week. Steelers are 6-point favorite at home. The line went up. It started as a -3.5. Then Kevin Stefanski tested positive for COVID, and now it's 6 point, so almost a touchdown. Yeah. I still think the Browns will cover. I think the Browns are a better team. Plus, they have bulletin board material now. Juicer's comment, like just unnecessary comments saying that the Browns are still the Browns.
Yeah, I if it wasn't for the COVID issues, I'd probably be picking the Browns money line. But I'm a little weary now with that. But I still think I still have faith that the Browns can win this game. But I'm gonna have them at least covering. I think you're talking very evenly matched teams. If not, I think the Browns might be slightly more talented, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I know the Steelers have the defense, but I still I don't trust the Steelers offense, especially now that we're in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. They have to, like we said about some other teams, the Steelers haven't played playoff football all year. They've been good at times, but playoff football, you have to run and control the ball, and that's what the Browns do, especially when they get up. So I think the Browns, there's always one game that surprises you wild card weekend, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Browns come out and upset the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Then we got Monday night, CFB National Championship. Alabama's hosting, or not hosting because it's a neutral site, but Ohio State at Alabama, with Alabama as the ceremonial home team. Alabama's 9-point favorites over a team that just knocked off Trevor Lawrence and the Clemson Tigers. I feel like this is going to be not a very fun game to watch. It's going to be the Heisman Trophy winning wide receiver and his quarterback, Mac Jones, who I think was also a finalist, just going up and down the field on Ohio State.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I kind of had a feeling Ohio State would beat Clemson, but Alabama has been my favorite all year to win this. So I'm just going to take Alabama -9 there. Be fun to see what Fields can do against Alabama. I'm starting to think Fields might be the one Ohio State quarterback that might not be a dud.
I mean, if he comes out and upsets Trevor Lawrence and then Mac Jones in back-to-back games, there's going to be legit hype for him to be the number one pick. And I mean, they're interviewing Urban Meyer, so there's always a chance that he goes with his guy who he recruited.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I'm surprised Fields isn't even considered number 2 in a lot of people's mocks. I have him at least number 2.
Well, he was coming off a bad outing a couple weeks ago. I know that a lot of people were down on him for, but I think after his performance in the semifinals, I think he's pretty locked at number 2, maybe even number 1.
Urban Meyer and Justin Fields to the Jets.
I don't think maybe to the Jaguars. So from one championship game to conference champions, we have odds for both the AFC and the NFC. The Chiefs are the only team in the NFL that have minus odds, so you have to pay more money than you'd receive if they win the conference. Do you think that they hold up? They're -115 right now.
They're going to be a tough out, but I wouldn't take a minus odds in a future pick like that.
It's just not worth the waiting.
I honestly my justification for this is, so I kind of view the Chiefs and Bills as like a 1A 1B kind of to win, and the Bills you can get that you could more than triple your money with that plus 350 lines. So I'd rather put money on the Bills, plus find them an exciting team to watch. So the Bills are my AFC pick as of this week.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going with the Bills too. I love Josh Allen. I love the coach. The Chiefs I guess it just comes so easy to them. It looks like they're not really playing well, and they could turn it up definitely in the playoffs. But the Bills are just riding hot. I think they'll keep it going against the Colts, and they'll probably have a matchup against Pittsburgh, which should be another win. And then going into Kansas City, I wouldn't put it past Josh Allen to outthrow Patrick Mahomes.
I honestly, and another part of not picking the Chiefs is it's just so hard to repeat in the NFL.
Yeah, that's very true. You gotta look, especially this year with all the COVID stuff. You never know what's going to happen. But yeah, I think we're both in lockstep with the Bills. Did we pick all our picks the same this week too?
I just went a little more bold with the Titans money line instead of covering.
You went with the money line, but yeah, we're pretty much on the same page right now. We're not going to be for the NFC picks. I can guarantee that. The Packers are plus 140 to win the conference. I'm not taking that. I'm actually going to go with Seattle at plus 600. I wanted to go with the Bucks and make it like a Tom Brady thing because of Tom Brady, but coming out of the what are they, the 4 spot? No, they're the 5 spot. So they're going to have to play all road games. I can't see them going the Giants route and winning 4 straight road games to win a Super Bowl.
No, I don't see that either. I'm gonna pick the Packers. I just like the way they've played all year long, and they've kind of for a few weeks now. I've been telling Dave. I kept saying I feel like Packers Bills, and I'm just gonna stick with it. Your odds, you're only getting plus 140, but you're still more than doubling your money there. But
yeah, and their former fullback, as of last year, John Kuhn came out and said he thinks this looks like the best Packer team that he's seen, especially since 2010. So that definitely bodes well. I mean, they're a good team. I don't want to pick chalk. I don't want Aaron Rodgers to make it an easy playoffs. I'm kind of afraid that he's going to prove me wrong and just do it coming out of the 1 seed, but we'll see.
And then if you want to get really bold,
Seahawks, you got them.
If you want to get really bold, Bears and Washington football team get you plus 4,000 odds to win the
which
conference.
team? If you had to pick between those two, which one do you go with?
Football team.
You said it before. The football. What about? I think that. Well, I'll say the odds that I think are the wrongest are the Browns having lower odds than the Colts.
Yeah, I don't get that either. Honestly, I would have the Browns with similar odds to the Titans, that plus 1,400 odds. I feel like that would make sense for the Browns.
Yeah, I agree.
Browns could be a good value pick there too, if anyone's looking to put down small money and just in like a, like when you hit firing card and just spray and pray. You can kind of do that with some of these, like the Browns and the football team.
Yeah, and then you feel good when a miracle happens. And I think for the Super Bowl, if I had Bills and Seahawks, first of all, it would be, I think, an incredibly exciting, fast-paced game. I think I would take the Bills plus 700. They have the third best odds of all the teams to go the whole way. So.
Oh, I would take I think I would take an AFC over NFC team this year.
On DraftKings they have AFC, NFC like straight up. I think AFC was favored. I forgot what the exact number was though. I think the idea is the AFC winner will be more battle tested. Because as much as I hope that the Seahawks can go into Lambeau to knock the Packers off, that's a pretty tough thing to do for a team to go pretty much across the country and play in cold weather. So we'll see if anybody could do it. But that's it for Wildcard weekend. It should be a pretty exciting one. This is usually one of the better weekends of the play. Sometimes the divisional round gets more, but I think just the fact that we have six games over 2 days and they're all good. And I feel
teams, like you're bound for at least one upset, I feel, which is why I have the Browns to at least cover, and I got the Titans to beat the Ravens.
Which team has the biggest team of destiny vibes in your opinion?
What do you mean?
Like they're just gonna go on a run and take it all.
I guess the Bills would be my pick there then.
What?
I guess the Bills, but if we're talking like underdogs to get hot, and if we're talking like an underdog team to get hot,
it has to be a wild card team.
Go Browns then.
Browns. I think I'd go with the football team. They just have such a likable team. So many good stories. But yeah, they're both good ones. It'll be tough. The Super Bowl winners had a bye. What is it? 10 straight Super Bowls, or no? The Giants were the last one that didn't have a bye and won the Super Bowl. So that was 2012.
2012. Well, 2011 season, but the playoffs were in 2012.
Right. So eight seasons.
What about the Ravens with Flacco? I think they were also like a 9-7 type of team.
I think that was
was the year after the Giants.
That was the year after the Giants because Peyton Manning was back with the Broncos.
Yeah, that's when the 49ers dumped Alex Smith for Kaepernick and went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Luke just confirmed it was 2012. He's the checker.
Thank you, Luke.
So yeah, any closing remarks?
No, I'm excited. I actually I wish they would keep this format going forward. I like the idea that like winning the conference, like only one person gets that bye.
Yeah, I think that they're not going to go back to 6. That's for sure. I think it's either they stay at 7 or they expand to 8 and nobody gets a bye week.
I think this is better though. It rewards a team like the Chiefs and Packers who just they dominated for most of the year. I think this is a good method. Just one team gets a bye week.
Yeah, I agree.
It makes you want to play harder. It makes you want to play a little harder in the regular season.
Yeah, it makes it mean something. Like we've seen teams when they clinch the bye week in previous years, they just bow down because it doesn't. Well, I guess the having home field throughout matters to some teams, but this year the difference between 1 and 2 was such a big gap, which is why you saw the Packers, Saints, and Seahawks all playing to win the last week of the season.
Yeah, so I like this format. I hope they keep it.
Yeah, me too. Hopefully we'll have live betting in New York pretty soon.
Yeah, that's
Hopefully for the Super
gonna be
Bowl.
nice. And as usual, don't bet too much money. Don't bet too much money. Don't bet the house. Don't bet the Capitol building. That's it.
Yeah. Have a good one.
You
Enjoy
too.
Super Wildcard weekend.